into the carousel. And then to reverse direction, another 180-degree wing over at the western end. Flying the aircraft today is Lieutenant Jim Carver, the Black Cat's pilot for the 2022 season. He actually joined the Royal Navy as an aircraft engineering technician and maintained Navy Sea King helicopters for a few years. Degree turn incorporated into it this time. Heading out to the east, 180-degree wing over to head back in the other direction once again. But with the Navy, there's all part of this programme of significant re-equipment. It's also involving the likes of the Merlin helicopters being converted for the command. You'll notice that the rotor is inclined slightly towards the rear. The air flows up through the rotor disc, keeping them spinning. And one of the beauties of this is that if the engine were to stop, the consequence would simply be that the Autogyro would gradually, slowly and controllably descend, with the rotor continuing to turn thanks to the airflow. This is a very different machine. Four underwing weapons hardpoints. Those were so the Strikemaster could carry gun packs, bombs, drop tanks for extra fuel and so forth. There's the second. The original 504s used a variety of rotary and later on radial engines, and this one has a radial, but a modern Rotec R3600. Many of the most famous Allied aces, people like Albert Ball, McManus, James McCudden and Billy Bishop flew SE-5As. More than 5,000 of them were built, and they were a good performer at all altitude.
Yes, that's right. There was the powers that be felt that the ferocity of the battles that were likely to be taking place would not be matched by the ferocity of the pilots, and that if they had parachutes, they would take to the silt rather than actually go into battle.
Well, the big fear of pilots was being caught up in a fire, in an airborne fire in these aircraft, because they would have caught fire very easily.
Yeah. And in fact, they used to have handguns, and it is a fact that many of them, when they were shot down, rather than face dying in flames, they would use the gun on themselves. What a terrible thought. And these aircraft would also be very vulnerable from ground fire.
Of course,
and,
yes.
Famously, Baron von Richthofen, the Red Bat.
Yes, he was the most famous exponent of the Fokker DR1, as we were saying earlier. You can see one in his colours, accurately replicated by Paul Ford, as part of our static display here.
And we mentioned the Red Baron. Following his demise, his place, of course, was taken by Hermann Goering.
Officer John Cruikshank of number 210 Squadron, the other, a Canadian Flight Lieutenant David Hornell of number 162 Squadron, both of whom pressed home attacks against U-boats while under very heavy fire. Of course, with number 6 rolling around the smoke of the other 3 aeroplanes. Simon Shirley, having flown the Tornado F3, he was also a qualified flying instructor on the Hawk, on the Grob Tutor and on the Grob Prefect. He's now for the 3-2-1 split. Calling the pull-up. Numbers 4 and 5 braking to either side, 1, 2 and 3 out onto the B-axis for their split, number 6 going vertical for a stall turn. For 30 years, polling Boeings and Airbuses along the airways. The lead 3-ship Vic formation running in. And they're performing a quarter cloverleaf manoeuvre. Raven 2, new to the team for this year. Building up energy before pulling vertical. This for a spiral tower. It has absolutely penetrating vertical performance, this aircraft. One turn of a flat spin, 2, 3, just about 4, and then recovery. really demonstrating the aircraft's performance to the full, into the vertical, snap rolling, and there you can see the speed decreases, and this is very impressive indeed. It's one of the longest torque rolls I have ever seen during a display. Backwards and backwards and backwards, through his own smoke, and there's the recovery. Out of that high-speed dive, more climbing snap rolls. Not just the wing, but also the undercarriage, the propeller, and the tail of the pits, all very different from the norm, all creating this quite amazing flying machine. Up for a half loop, and again more snap rolls at the apex, up to about 800 to 1,000 feet, and then once again pulling to a high angle of attack, and this is where he really tries to hover. As I say, it's not so breezy today. In a stronger wind, he may well have...
Back for another season by popular demand, adapted from the original version, Blade 1 is now flying inverted at the front of the formation, while Blades 2 and 3 work hard on the rudder to demonstrate an unnatural way to fly, and Blade 4 rolls around the smoke created by the other pilots. This is our most photographed manoeuvre in the display, so if you get any good pictures, please tweet them using @TheBlazeTeam, as we'd love to see them. This unique manoeuvre can be experienced with our Blaze flight.
This formation, representing some of the very best of the air display scene.